Hi everyone and welcome back. The first thing I want to say is earlier this week I hit 50 subscribers and guys, I'm just blown away. I know that in the grand YouTube scheme of things, 50 subscribers is not a lot, but when I started this, I thought I would have one person, which is the person that kind of inspired me and encouraged me to do this. Hi Marcy. Um, yeah, so I had, as of a few minutes ago, I had 51 subscribers. So that's 50 more than I ever thought I would have. And seriously, guys, thank you. It gives me encouragement to know that there are people out there that are actually interested in watching what I'm doing. I've started this for me um, as a way to kind of branch myself out, but it really means a lot to have people along for the ride. So thanks so much. As always, feel free to drop a comment, say hi, give a like, give a dislike. If I'm doing something you don't like, let me know, and maybe we can find a way around that. So anyway, thank you so much. It is now June, which means that Mania is finally over. And as you guys saw, I made my goal for the month, so yay! But I only chose 20 days, and there are 31 days in May, obviously. So what did I do for the rest of the time? That's what I'm going to talk about for the first part of today. I'm going to give you a whip update. And the first one you kind of just saw a second ago, I finished my mitts. Yay! This is my webinar set that I've been working on during webinars when I work at home. I finished the mitts, so now I have the whole set. I have my hat, and I have my scarf, and it is 80 degrees out, and I don't need any of it. But I finished it. So, that's something that I spent a lot of time working on in the last few weeks. I decided what I want to do is start focusing on, there are a few projects that I'd like to get done just for the fact that they're gifts, some of which are long overdue because they're Christmas gifts. So I want to kind of prioritize those, but at the same time, I know me, and I get super bored if I work on the same thing over and over and over again. So my goal for the end of March was I picked the work that was the furthest behind, and I set a goal that any day I stitch, because I take one day a week off, any day that I stitch, I would do at least 100 stitches on that, and then if I was completely unmotivated, I could stop it and I could do something else. Whether that was spin the wheel and just pick a random project, or if I had a specific one that I wanted to work on that day. But I had to do 100 stitches. And it paid off. Oh, dear Lex, what did you do with it? Sorry, I thought I knew where it was, and Lexi had moved it on me. But I finished it. So, this is fine. This is a super overdue Christmas gift for one of my good friends who is also one of my team leaders at work, and this is kind of our team motto whenever anything goes wrong. We're like, it's fine, it's fine, this is fine. So, I made this for him, and he better like it after all the effort. But in the meantime, I also got some work done on some other whips. Like I said, for the most part, I just spun the wheel. So I got several different projects that I got some work done on. The first one looked like absolutely nothing. This is Charting Creations Bookworm. I think you might kind of be able to tell that this is going to be a book eventually. There's 2 feet by 3 feet of fabric here. This is going to be huge, and it's going to take years, and I've got about 220 stitches in on it. But any progress is good, right? One day I worked a little bit on introvert recharging. Again, not super a lot, but made some progress. The Avatar Stitch Along. I actually have a half a Roku. I have him from the waist up. I got a little frustrated on just working on the background because I couldn't see any progress. And I was so close, so I just counted down and started working on him. Pattern 4 was just released, so I'm super duper behind on this one. I'll catch up. Probably not before it's completely over, but it will get done eventually. I've seen what's been released so far, and it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. It's just a matter of finding the time and motivation to work on it. Of course, the wheel chose this project twice because I loathe it. Not because of the pattern, not because of the floss. I love them both. It's because of the fabric. Look at how limp and icky this linen is, and it's so thin, and it's more uneven than any of my other linens. But this is the wine sampler made out of the periodic table, and I have most of the iodine done now. I've got most of the atomic weight. I think I got like 3 digits left, and then the frame, and then I'll have the eye done. But I'll only work on this one when the wheel makes me, because I don't like it. I tell you, if I had not tried another piece of linen besides that one, I wouldn't ever use linen. But fortunately I did, and I actually really do like it. So there was a valuable lesson in that, and that was that expensive fabric is worth it. So worth it. I got a little bit of work done on Letters from Hogwarts. Not actually very much at all. The wheel only picked it one day. But I finally got the eagle head done. Got a little bit more of the background in. I'm still on chapter 1. Chapter 3 came out a month ago. It's fine. I'll get to it eventually. It will eventually be one of my priority projects, just not right now. Did a little bit of Moonshine. Again, not very much at all, but I love working with these overdyed fabrics because this is all of this blue is actually the same floss. You can see the color change working through it. Just love it. I don't think it'll stay set aside too long. And then the 2 big ones. I really love Skeptic Sampler by Sweetwater Studio. I know it's kind of intended to be like for Skeptic, but I call it the Scientist Sampler, just because I'm completely in love with it, and I don't think it matters whether you're religious or not. I think you can appreciate the sampler. Oh, there's my needle minder. One of many of my new ones, but my friends call me Dorothy, so I had to get B. So I've gotten this partially done, mostly just working on the words, but I had to work on this the other night. With everything that's been going on lately, nothing's fine, and I couldn't work on this is fine. I couldn't even be tongue-in-cheek about it. So I worked on this because science is something that I can always hold on to, and I made a little bit of progress. But again, this is one that I probably will choose to work on a lot, so I don't expect it. I expect you'll see a lot of progress on this one fairly quickly. And finally, the one that I talk about every time I do a WIP update, and that is my temperature stitch along pattern from Linda Hardy at in the Enablers cross stitch group on Facebook. The only stitch along that I'm caught up on, that I stay caught up on, and you can see this is current through May 31st. So this is the first 5 months of the year. Get a little closer so you can see some more of the color detail. But yeah, you can see this last little bit. There is the first day of summer. It's been the warmest day we've had so far. But we've been in a decent weather pattern right now. The weather's been really nice in the 70s and 80s. So I think we're finally starting to see some of those warmer temperatures and finally starting to see the colors on this change from those greens that I've had since the beginning of the year because we had a super mild winter. So yeah, we're starting to see some color change on that. And I still just think it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it. And thank you for creating this stitch along because I'm having a lot of fun with it. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I worked on through the end of May. My goal for June, I kind of want to keep with the same thing, which is picking a project that is way overdue and needs to be worked on and just forcing myself to do a little bit of that every day. So if I do that, I will get at least 600 stitches a week done because 100 a day minus the day I always take off. And hopefully it'll be like This Is Fine, where once I get motivated and I get near to the end, it gets easier for me to work faster just because I'm enthused about it. So yeah, so the one that I am picking to be my next focus is the last of the Great Christmas Panic of 2019. It's the last Christmas gift I have left to give out. It's the last one I started, and I actually completely misjudged the size. These two that I've been working on recently, This Is Fine and this one, I completely misjudged the size, which is why it's 5 months later and they're still not given out. Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Hannah. But yeah, so the last one I have to finish is Natsu. And here is where he's at right now. Got the boring, finish the rest of his face, all that tawny. And then all the white. I hate working white on white. Why do I do it to myself? Second project in a row. But yes, the white of the scarf, and then actually his pants are all white too. But so this is the one I'm going to work on next. I originally thought this was a lot smaller than it is. I should have known better because of the amount of detail that was in it. But this is June's project. And Natsu in Japanese means summer, so Natsu for Natsu. Wish me luck! Alright, so that's my stitchy update. If you're just here for the cross stitch, have a great week. I'll see you later. If you're interested in some of my other projects, why don't you stick around, because I'm going to talk knitting for a minute. Now that my webinar hat and scarf and glove set is done, I wanted to start on something new, and one of my regular viewers, who is also a friend, reached out to me on Facebook and suggested that my next project should be trying to make something lace. Since I already knew how to knit purl, she said adding lace would just add some increases and decreases and should be relatively simple. So I made a Ravelry account, I got on Ravelry, I looked at some patterns, and I picked out a shawl. I just put in lace into the pattern search. I pulled up a bunch of stuff and I found a shawl that's labeled as fairly easy, beginner level. lace knitting. So we're going to try it. I bought the single most expensive skein of yarn I've ever bought. This is Malabrigo, light fingering weight yarn. The color is water green, which is totally not a color that I ever wear or use, but with the COVID stuff, a lot of the local craft shops are just empty, and I'm sure that that's going on everywhere, because I know that I had that problem trying to source a lot of my supplies for Mania as well. So this was in stock so that I could start on it right away. It'll make a lovely gift for someone, even if I never wear it. But yes, this is probably costs as much as about 4 skeins of what I normally buy. So before I jump into this, I am going to learn my new stitches on some of my old leftover yarn from this, instead of kinking that up and expensive stuff, good stuff, pretty stuff, and I don't want to ruin it with my learning as much as I can. So there are 3 stitches that I need to learn. 2 decreases and an increase for this pattern. The pattern is called Reina. I got it off Ravelry, and I'm sure I will talk about it more and show you a picture eventually. I just don't have it in front of me right now. So 2 decreases and an increase. The increase I need to learn is a yarn over. The decreases I need to learn are knit 2 together and slip slip knit. So I've done some YouTube tutorial. I've watched some YouTube tutorials. I've watched some. I've read some blogs with photos and words, because sometimes I learn better in different ways. And now it's time to try to learn them. So like I said, I have some scrap yarn. I have some needles, and I have this. Ta-da! I have, with my phone, so I can record and you can kind of see what I'm seeing. Obviously, there goes the headband. Obviously, someday I would like to get a GoPro or something I can mount like on my shoulder so it is actually face level instead of wearing some ridiculous headset. But we're going to try this out and see how it works, so that I can kind of let you see what I'm working on while still having both hands free to knit, because I'm going to need both hands to knit. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, I've got some scrap yarn here left over from my webinar mitts that I've just thrown a few stitches of garter stitch in. So let's see if I can learn these stitches. The first one, and hopefully the camera is getting this because I can't see what the camera sees. But anyway, so the first one is a knit 2 together. So I'll just knit a couple stitches to get going. And then from what I understand, it is exactly what it sounds like. You get 2 stitches to the end here. Put your needle in them both at the same time. And I always do that. Knit them both together. So yeah, I'll try it again, see if I can get a feel for it. This is gonna be tricky to learn. Simple in theory, not so much in practice. Haha, got it. We'll try it again. The closer I get it to the end of the needle, the easier it seems to be to get the needle in there. I just get scared then that I'm going to actually drop the stitches right off. But try it again. And one last time. Okay, and that is knit 2 together. That doesn't seem that bad. You can see where I did it. Yeah. Okay, so then the next up would be a yarn over. That's the increase for this particular pattern. Again, yeah, let's see. We'll just get going. And I believe you just wrap the yarn over. Just without slipping a stitch. So yeah, that's pretty easy. I don't think I'll need a lot of practice on that. Just go back to front, knit, knit, yarn over, okay, and now I have more stitches and an increase that leaves a little bit of space, which I'm sure is something, one of the reasons that it's used for lace, with all of the open and the holes and slants and things in the weave. So yes, there is the yarn over. Okay, and last but not least, the other decrease for this project is the slip slip knit. I've watched some videos on it. In theory, I know how to do it. In practice, I am not at all sure that I know how to do it. So, what I understand, or what I think I understand, is that you slip your 2 stitches as if you're going to knit. Then you bring your right needle back in. Remember, I'm left-handed, so this is all completely opposite if you're a right-handed knitter and you're going, no, no, you bring your left needle in. Well, I'm backwards. And then you just knit. And yeah, that I think is actually just it. So literally is exactly what it sounds like. Slip and slip. Get back in there. Mostly it's just going to be me getting used to new patterns. Hi, Lex. She's decided to come act as backrest. Slip, slip, knit. Okay. Try it a few more times. Ah! See? And this is why I want to do these videos, so you can see that people are definitely not perfect the first time they learn how to do these things. And aha, got it. And I'm just knitting a single stitch in between just because I feel like it. So slip and slip. And knit. Hate it when I split the yarn. There we go. And there we go. So, I have no idea if those are right, that those are the tutorials that I looked at online. I ended up with the right number of stitches every time. So, I think I did it right. I guess we'll find out as I progress on my shawl. So there you go. I think I did them right. I hope I did them right. I guess we'll find out as I start actually working on this shawl, and we'll see if it looks anything like the picture. Please, if you're a knitter and you see something that I might have done wrong and you think you can help me, I know sometimes I'm beyond help, but if you think you can help me, feel free to give me a shout and say, hey, you did that completely wrong, you don't know what you're doing. Well, I know I don't know what I'm doing because I'm trying to teach myself. But please feel free to reach out and give me a hand if I've completely screwed something up. Remember, I am left-handed, so everything I do is going to be backwards. So if you're a right-handed knitter and you see me and you're like, just flip it around and see if you still feel that way. And if you do, please reach out and help me, please. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'll see you in a week. We'll give you an update then, and until then, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. I'll talk to you later. Bye.